Die, monster. You don't belong in this world.
It was not by my hand that I am once again given flesh. I was called here by humans who wish to pay me tribute.
Tribute? You steal men's souls and make them your slaves.
Perhaps the same could be said of all religions.
Your words are as empty as your soul. Mankind ill needs a savior such as you.
What is a man? A miserable little pile of secrets? But enough talk! Have at you!
Retro Hero.
What is up, everybody? Thank you for listening to the Retro Hero Podcast. This is episode 7, and we're going to talk about villains here.
Villains.
Some dastardly people. Hope you liked our little intro with Castlevania Symphony of the Night, too.
Yes. What is a man, though?
A miserable little pile of secrets.
I totally agree with that.
That's what men are.
Well, man ill needs a savior such as himself.
But enough talk. Let's have at this podcast.
Oh, let's do it.
Woo! But anyways, so yeah. This is the Retro Hero Podcast. If you want to hit us up on that. Yeah, it is.
This is the Retro Hero Podcast? Fuck.
It is.
I'm on the wrong podcast.
Well, I mean, just in case, because it's episode 7, and we
only
had like 7 people actually listen to our podcast.
I thought this was the giant black dildo cast. I should probably move on.
That's your other podcast.
Oh, that's right.
That's tomorrow.
Oh,
We're recording that tomorrow.
Okay.
Giant black dildo podcast.
I got scared there for a sec, but we're good. Carry on.
Carry on, my wayward son. All right. So if you want to hit us up, we do have a Patreon if you want to give us some dinero.
That would help. You get much better than this garbage.
Yeah. No, I actually like this garbage. I'm sorry.
No, it's decent. It's a likable garbage.
It's like
turn that Sheikah slate off, motherfucker.
Patreon.com/retrohero if you want to give us some dinero.
Yeah, if you're kind of liking this, I mean, I know it's hard, but yeah, if you want to support us and go onto Patreon, we would greatly appreciate that. And to our one Patreon, cousin Tony.
My cousin Tony.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, thanks, bro. But we have that. We're on Facebook also. We've been hitting that up a little bit because of something we'll talk about here down the road.
Oh yes, foreshadowing. Nice foreshadowing there, John.
Yeah. We call that maybe a future segue. Ooh. It's not a segue yet because we're not going directly to it, so it's a future segue, I guess. Is that the term?
Sure.
I don't know.
It is now.
We'll see. But Facebook.com/Retro Hero Podcast. You can hit us up there. If you want to see a blank Twitter page, you can just go to @TheRetroHero. It's pretty awesome. Nothing.
I put a Mario Odyssey video on there.
Did you?
I did.
Oh, see, look.
Just one.
All right.
There's one thing to look at on there. It's pretty good, too.
You can find us on YouTube. That's where we are the most active. Just type in that little search engine. Type in Retro Hero Podcast. You'll find a lot of our Let's Plays. You'll find our podcasts like what we're doing right now. And then we'll also have some streaming and other stupid videos down the road.
Many various treasures upon the YouTube that you will discover.
Yep. And then you can hit us up at the email, which, actually I've had some honeys hitting me up on that.
Oh, have you? It's just been all like neck beards.
I think I used the email address for my Tinder account.
Oh,
so,
that explains a lot.
Yeah.
I've been getting all the neck beards and just like forever alones hitting me up.
Yeah, but retroheropodcast@gmail.com. Ladies, what's up, girl? But anyway, so what we've been up to lately, we've had a little bit of a hiatus, but it was mostly for a good reason. It was something that I would consider like kind of our mecca. It's one of the best times of the year for a retro gamer in the Portland area. We had the Portland Retro Gaming Expo. Let me get that right. Portland Retro Gaming Expo
2017. Fuck yeah, it was lit up in there.
So tell me some of your highlights of that. And I'll break down
the whole fucking thing was my highlight, man. It's my favorite time. One of my favorite things of the year. It's my favorite video gaming event of the year. So basically, it's just the Oregon Convention Center is full of fucking retro gaming shops, like from all. I didn't realize how like national this thing was.
Oh yeah,
dude. There was people there from all over the fucking country bringing their games, bringing their art, bringing all this shit for us to enjoy. Man, it was cool. We saw so many fucking rare gems. I love just wandering the sales floor and just finding fucking old games that you forgot about, or just hunting down that gem because dude, there had to be what, like 50 different fucking vendors just selling games there.
Oh, more than
just
that.
games.
I would say more than that, Brad.
So
I think you're selling it a little short.
You get everything from like the bigger, like the GameStar, they were there, or you get everything down to just like a guy selling like his personal collection. And
there was even not sorry to cut you off, but there was even like a small little retro game store that was like from Cleveland, Ohio that I was talking to, or like a guy, I think he was stationed in New Mexico. Just like random shit like that, which was cool.
So people definitely travel to this Portland Retro Expo, and it was a blast, man. We had a great time. We had a great time checking out all the old shit. They had a video game museum there. We got to fucking play the Super Nintendo CD.
The PlayStation, Nintendo, whatever.
Yeah, so before Sony PlayStation was a thing, they were actually in a deal with Nintendo to create a CD-ROM expansion for the Super Nintendo. That all fell out because Nintendo were just a bunch of assholes back then, apparently. And
especially to Sony.
And then so they were like, "Fuck you, we're gonna go make our own company." And now we have fucking PS4 all these years later. So that's where it started. That's where Sony started, was with the add-on for the Super Nintendo. Then they went on to make the original PlayStation.
But they had the prototype, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is the prototype was recently discovered.
And there's only one known working prototype in the world, and we fucking played that thing, and it was a mind trip.
I got to play some Street Fighter 2 on it, and it's just Street Fighter 2, but just the fact that I was playing it on something as historic as that piece of gaming
the
history
hardware,
was
like
amazing.
the console itself had Sony all over it, but you're playing with a Super Famicom controller, and you have a Super Famicom cartridge in the top. It was mind blowing. It was a real treat.
Yeah,
it was definitely a highlight.
It was like I've looked up about this console. I've seen many YouTube videos and loved the history of it. But the fact that I was actually able to be playing on it, that was just something that just kind of blew my mind. It was afterwards, I just needed to step away and just have like a little nerd geek out moment.
You're verklempt.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I gotta collect myself.
It was cool.
Yes, it was cool. It's on the video. We're posting that here soon, of kind of like the overview video of the whole thing. We got some video proof that John actually played it. We're not lying to you.
Yep. I know some of the things that I enjoyed was also, I mean, obviously it's just seeing all the vendors. That was awesome. There was also the Tetris World Championship there.
That was cool.
And this is like an official thing where people come from all over the world to compete in this championship. So that was cool. It was like
they were serious motherfuckers.
Original NES Tetris championships.
Yeah, it was actually a pretty big turnout for that, man. It was like a whole section dedicated to that. Those dudes were fucking in the zone when we were watching them.
And then we also there's also a section just dedicated to free arcades. Old school arcades, which is cool. My one gripe though is because it is free, you are kind of fighting a crowd to get to the games.
It's tough to get on the cabinet. So once you finally get the cabinet you want, you kind of got to stick on it. But yeah, dude, the selection of games is insane that they have for free. And you know, when you go, the place is called Ground Control that supplied the cabinets, and they're a local arcade here in Oregon. And
did they supply all? I think some of them were from other outside sources, but I feel like they supplied.
But they
majority.
organized the whole like free to play arcade thing.
Okay.
And it's impressive what they have there, man. And so like when you actually go to Ground Control, and let's say you want to get good at like fucking Dragon's Lair, or like Dragon's Lair or like Metal Slug or something that just sucks your quarters away. At this free to play, you get a chance to kind of like hone your skills. I beat Mario Bros. 3. I use warp whistles, but whatever. I fucking beat that shit on 1 quarter. Technically, I got no game overs, even though I didn't give him quarters, but no game overs.
Impressive.
I was proud of that. I was proud of that moment, even though John didn't record it.
Yeah.
Like an asshole that he is.
Everybody's seen Mario 3. No big deal. I guess the game that I was playing the most of there, I got really sucked into Dig Dug.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I was really enjoying that. It's just a game I don't get to play too often. I've always loved it. So
very relevant to Stranger Things season 2 as well.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, Stranger Things.
Yeah.
We might have to. Well, no, you're only 4 episodes deep.
Yeah, I'm still working on season 2. Still working on it. I'll have it done here this week.
Yeah.
Because Shameless started today as well, so gotta get on that.
Stranger Things is better.
Oh, of course, but Shameless is like my fucking chicken soup, homie.
Yeah.
I need that good South Side Chicago drama in my life.
Absolutely. So, I mean, the Portland Retro Gaming Expo was just awesome. You get to see some cool people that also have the same interest as you. And it's really one of the main reasons we even started this podcast was before it was, 3 years ago? 3 years ago, I want to say?
It was 3 years ago we went last time.
Was the last time. And that was kind of what got us going before I moved to the Portland area.
It was amazing. And it's
yeah.
just, it's so cool to have everyone. What I like about it as well, because I've been to a lot of different conventions for different interests. And what I like about Portland Retro Expo.
Nerd.
Whatever. That's why I'm here. I like Portland Retro Expo is because I feel like it's more our group of our generation, our group of people who we grew up with. When I go to like anime conventions, it's like, sometimes I don't feel like I fit in very well.
Hard to relate.
Yeah, but this place, it's like, dude, these guys are my people. We actually, John and I did some trivia. We were asking random people trivia, and little did we know there was a YouTuber who, like, he kind of joined in. John knew who he was. I didn't personally. Radical Reggie, shout out to him if he ever listens to this. But we got to do some trivia with him. It was kind of cool. I didn't realize he was a pretty big YouTuber as far as collecting goes and shit.
Yeah. He's one of the main guys. Also, there was Middle Jesus Rocks.
Yeah,
We didn't run it. I mean, I saw him from a distance, but we didn't like actually talk to him. But Radical Reggie is a guy that's also like worked with him.
Yeah,
and they're just big video game collectors. So I recognized him from YouTube.
You get a few big YouTubers there, like Peanut Butter Gamer was there, and he had actually
Completionist was there.
They had some
too.
Pretty big lines on the autograph section.
And that's just not us though. Brad and I were just like, it's cool that they're there, but I'm not gonna stand in line for an hour to get one.
But it gave us motivation. Like one day we'll be there.
One day, maybe, probably not, but one day. But yeah, I mean, it was cool. I saw the Completionist, John Gerard, from like about the distance from me to you right now.
Oh shit! Nice.
Nice. But I didn't want to like talk. Like to me, I'm not like one of those guys that's like,
No.
hey man, I really like your stuff on YouTube. Like he's probably heard it a million times. So I just kind of looked at him. We like made eye contact, and I just gave him like a sup, and that was it. That was it. You know, I'm not gonna do any more. Like, oh, you're so cool, man. I like your videos, bro. Like, I'm just not that. He probably heard that all weekend. So like the last thing he needs is to fucking hear it from me. So like, all right, guy, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, your opinion doesn't matter.
Exactly. So I mean, that kind of we'll have more videos. We're gonna upload them to YouTube with our questionnaires.
Yeah, I got an interview up that we did with the author there. We got some other we got the trivia video, just like
Herman,
Mr. Leonard Herman. What's up, yo?
Yep.
He was like a video game historian. He's been writing this video game history book since the fucking 80s, right? He said the 80s or the 90s when he started.
No, it was definitely 80s.
So yeah,
definitely.
Since the 80s, this guy
covering Atari
has made it his mission to document video game history, and like this thing was like as big as the Bible. Okay,
Yeah,
it was like Game of Thrones, like right there. And it was
really cool.
It was pretty cool
I
talking
want
to
pick
him.
up one of those books.
I'd pick it up. It was Phoenix 4 was the new one, but yeah, he was pretty cool. Really, really awesome guy that gave us a chance to interview him.
Yeah,
so
very knowledgeable about what he wanted to talk about in his book too, which was just really cool. Great interview.
Yeah,
Easy interview.
John liked it because he didn't have to do shit.
Yeah, I really didn't. All you have to do is just like tell us about your book, and man, he's just like gonna talk for like
he was grabbing a
10
mic
minutes,
from
and
you
it's like
that's
that's awesome.
Like it was a hot cake.
No, I know it's awesome. That's like the best kind of interview is where you don't really have to say much. So
Fuck yeah.
yeah. But I mean, that kind of wraps up. We'll have some more of that on YouTube. You'll see that. But,
Yeah, we'll go next year too for sure, and bring you
absolutely.
more of the awesomeness, and hopefully we're a little more established by then, so we can get some better content.
Hopefully.
But yeah, so moving on, what you been playing, John?
Recently, because I was like really fucking pissed off.
Well, before let's precursor this to tell us about your Nintendo Switch first. Let's hear the story.
So
last episode we kind of said that you were getting the Switch, but let's get an update on that.
So, obviously that was like about a month ago. I put in my order for the Mario Odyssey Nintendo Switch package deal.
Bundle!
The bundle! And, and I expect that it's going to come out the same day. I expect to get the package the same day the game comes out, October 27th. And no.
9.
No. I hear from Amazon, they're like, you'll get it maybe November 2nd or November 3rd. Well, that's fucked up, but all right, I guess we'll just roll with it, whatever. I don't care. Then November 3rd comes around. I even call in, or I do a half day of work because I'm like, I want to get the fucking game. Nobody comes. And they're like, then they tell me it's going to come on Monday. That's what the
Which
tracking.
is future tomorrow. Today's Sunday,
Yeah.
the 5th. So they said it would come tomorrow, correct?
Yes. But luckily the guy brought it yesterday. I was able to get it.
He
but
felt
I was
your
still
pain.
pissed.
He was like, there's a
I was
disturbance in
pissed.
the force.
Dude, I was so pissed. So anyway, so that's the precursor. I was so fucking pissed that I didn't get the game on Friday that I was itching to play a video game.
First world
I
problems.
just been putting video games off for a little bit,
Yeah.
and
Me too.
I was just because I was just so hyped for Mario
We could talk
Odyssey.
about that too in a bit.
Yeah, and then so I was just like, fuck it, I'm so pissed. Like, what can I download on my PS4? I'm just like, you know what? Undertale. I'm getting Undertale. I've been wanting to play this. I've been putting it off to the side for way too long. I've heard so many good things about it, and my goodness, the fact that I put it off this long, I'm actually mad at myself because I fell in love with this game within 10 minutes of playing it.
Nice.
Within 10 minutes of playing it. If you're a fan of Earthbound, it has kind of like, so it's obviously like from a atmosphere perspective, it's definitely Earthbound. And then like the fighting perspective is kind of like Lufia, I would say. But then there's also like little nuggets from other games, little tributes to them. To like Final Fantasy 3. There's one scene, Final Fantasy 3/6. There's this one specific scene. You haven't played it, so I won't ruin it. But it's like clearly a rip off of that. But it was so good. I was laughing my ass off the whole time.
Nice.
There's a robot called Metaton that's just like, he's easily one of the funniest characters in the
That's
game.
what I love about indie games is they call back to so many games we grew up with, like Shovel Knight, like fucking DuckTales, Mario Bros. 3, like it's like the greatest hits of NES just slammed into one game, Mega Man, all that shit. So that's another reason I love indie titles, man. Like, they just fucking borrow from so many games that we grew up with.
So the great thing about Undertale, I would say, is like you could beat the game in about like just under 10 hours. Like anywhere between 5 to 8-ish hours, depending on it. Just for one playthrough, though. So what I've heard, there's like 25 different endings.
Damn.
I'm not going, but I hear they're like very, like depending on what you do, they're kind of minimal changes. So it's
just maybe like main endings.
Main
small
endings,
variations.
there might be the main endings. There might be like 3 different routes you want to go.
Yeah,
and that would kind of.
That's cool.
Put it, but
yeah, I do want to get around to playing it for sure.
I would totally recommend it, and I also got it for $15.
Nice.
So to me, like for a bargain bin kind of type game where you're spending less than $20 for a game, absolutely, I'd recommend it for the PS4. You can get it on Steam too, or on your PS Vita.
I'll throw it on my massive backlog.
Yeah,
just add it onto the pile.
Oh. So now, obviously, we were talking about Mario Odyssey. You've played a lot more than I have. So why don't you
to take a step back here? Like John said, I was going through like a bit of a gaming drought. Like I was hardcore into Destiny 2. I took a little vacation to Texas to see some family, and ever since I took that vacation, I've tried so hard to get back into games, and I was having a tough time. And I think it's because I was so hyped for Odyssey. It was hard for me to just sit down, and I don't know. I kind of go through these phases where like I'll take a week or two off of gaming. It's like it's kind of good for you. I think you need to take a break sometimes from a thing you love to appreciate it more. And so anyway, so I finally got Odyssey. I got it a couple of days late. I had some family in town. My son's first birthday party was last weekend, and there was some shit going on. But I finally got a copy of the game on Sunday, and man, every night I've been playing that thing, and it puts a smile on my fucking face, dude. It's such a fucking awesome experience. It's such a callback to Mario 64 and Sunshine, more so 64. It definitely has more of a 64 vibe. Has the same move set essentially from 64, the triple jump, the fucking ground pound, the forward dive, the fucking cartwheel, all that shit from 64. But dude, it's just that game it's perfected 3D Mario. Like, I know at the end of the year, the big debate's going to be between Breath of the Wild and Mario for Game of the Year. And maybe Horizon, maybe Persona 5 in that mix. But to me, those two games are definitely going to be at the forefront. Breath of the Wild redefined the Zelda series. But I think Odyssey just perfects that 3D Mario formula, which is fine too. And that's why the debates can be so hard is... Fuck, man, that game is just so much fun to play. It's addicting because there's so many moons, and the moons are they're everywhere, dude. Like, every corner you turn, it's like Zelda, where like Breath of the Wild, where you just see something kind of odd in the distance, you go to it, and you're fucking gonna find something. There's really not a lot of wasted space in that world. The whole, all the worlds that you go through, and there's a lot of variation in the kingdoms, the power-ups you get. I'm fucking loving it, man. I know you just started. You're still pretty early on in the game.
Yeah, I've just started, but I did before I got the game. I hung out with our coworker Tyler, and I saw him play. I helped him play a little bit, and we even did the 2-player co-op, which, you know what, honestly, like, obviously it's not the greatest 2-player co-op thing, but the thing was like, even he was telling me he was playing it with his girlfriend, and his girlfriend, I guess, isn't much of a gamer, so it was like him being like, I need you to do this, you know. But it was like, so when we were playing though, and I was playing the 2-player role as Cappy, and I'm like doing stuff, he's like, oh, I don't even have to ask you to do this, you already know like what to do. Like
gamer instinct.
We were hive minding, I guess you would say. And
it's just gamer instinct.
It was a fun. It made it a little bit more fun to do that.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, it's
is it perfect
doable
for 2-player? No, but you know what? If you have that like little brother, little sister that just wants to play so badly, you just, you know.
Hashtag where's Luigi?
Nobody gives a fuck about Luigi.
He's in the mansion somewhere getting scared.
Wario's where it's at.
Wario's
the best. Wario's the best Nintendo character, period. I don't give a fuck what you say. Yep. Best Nintendo character ever created.
If you
Wario.
could see my face right now, y'all, it'd be a face of what the
I
fuck?
like Link.
I'm not saying Link. No. I do love Link, but Wario is the best Nintendo character?
Wario is the best Nintendo character
I could see your argument, but no.
Ever created.
No, Waluigi's
he has
better.
So much. Waluigi?
That was a joke.
Jeez.
Maybe not.
No, I mean, I'm just telling you, he has the comedy. He's also the villain. And he's got the WarioWare games. Like, he has
I do, dude. I have a very soft spot for WarioWare.
Yeah.
I love those fucking games, but I don't know if he's the best Nintendo character ever created.
Okay, he's the most creative. Put it that
okay,
way.
I give you that.
Even though he is like a rip-off, like, clone of Mario, it's still creative in my mind because it's like they did a creative way of ripping off Mario.
Yeah, no, dude, the WarioWare games
twin.
have a fucking very good sense of humor. I love those fucking games.
Sure,
They need to make one for the Switch. Where you at?
Yep.
Where you at, Wario?
Where you at? But anyway, so okay, I think that kind of sums up like what we've been.
Undertale. John beat that, or he's about to beat it. Mario Odyssey is fucking awesome. We're maybe do some video of that. Get it if you have a Switch. If you don't have a Switch, get a Switch for Mario Odyssey.
It is worth buying. I mean, that's the reason I bought the system. I mean, I'm gonna buy the other games, but I bought the system for Mario.
So Odyssey. I turn on my Switch and like you have the first 5 games of the games you've recently played kind of on your icon list. So my games go Mario Odyssey, Mario plus Rabbids, Mario Kart, and then Zelda, and then Sonic Mania are like the 5 icons you can see. I'm just like, dude, 3 Mario games dominating the system. It's a good time to have a Switch. It's fucking one of the best first years I can remember of any console.
It is good, and I'm glad that they're actually going the third-party route too. So like we're about to get Skyrim.
Yeah, dude, Bethesda's bringing fucking Doom, Skyrim, Wolfenstein,
LA Noire.
LA Noire is coming, even though it has a giant install size.
Does it?
That's the fucking Nintendo. They call it the tax because Nintendo makes those cartridges, like the bigger cartridges, are so expensive to produce that a developer like Rockstar just makes you download that fucking extra data. So it's like 20 something gigs of extra data you have to download to play that game.
Jesus.
Yeah. So
you're trying to tell me that I shouldn't play it on the Switch, basically.
If you have a PS, I mean, I'm not saying you shouldn't because you should play the game. If you haven't, it's an amazing game. But it's also coming to PS4. It's also coming to like fucking every other system. So unless you want it to go, I mean, that's the thing with the Switch is you get that shit to go.
Yeah.
If you play on, I know you ride the bus to work, so.
Me?
What? I know. I'm just joking.
What?
We drive around here. We drive around these parts.
I pollute the environment. Thank you very much. For every biker out there, I just do twice the fucking emissions.
Fuck Portland public transportation is a scary thing.
Oh, it is. Everybody gets stabbed on there. Like if you've ridden Portland public transportation, you've probably been stabbed.
Yeah,
probably.
If you've been stabbed, email us.
Yeah.
At retroheropodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, we want to hear about your max stabbing.
If you're still alive, that is.
Ooh.
Which we hope you are.
Ooh.
So anyway, moving on. John's kind of already talked about a Switch. So what do you mean if you're with your limited time? What do you think about the Switch so far, having one in your hands?
I mean, it's great to finally have one and not have to bum off of yours. But I mean, I'm just super excited. Super excited. I just need to get more games. I only have Odyssey, but I'm gonna get Mario Kart. I'm gonna get Sonic Mania. Breath of the Wild, I'll probably get. I had it on Wii U.
Yeah.
But I want to get it again and just. But that'll be down the road. Like maybe when there's a lull. Right now, there's just so many games coming out right now.
Yeah.
That
fuck, dude. Right now is like the worst time of year.
Yeah. or the best time of year, depending on how you
best
feel.
time of year, but if you have a kid, it's the worst time of year because you want to fucking play all these games and you don't have the time.
But no, I'm just I'm excited to finally have it. Just having a PS4, having a Switch, I've got everything that I need. So
Nice. Hell
it's
yeah.
gonna be good.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
So let's move on. Just some bits of news that came out these last couple weeks since we've been back. So Paris Games Week was last week, and Sony had a pretty interesting conference. They labeled it as E3 Part 2, which really wasn't that because there's only like one new announcement. It was all just more trailers with no fucking release dates. But they were good trailers. But the one that stood out to us was the Last of Us Part 2 trailer. If you listen to this podcast before, you know we're big fans of The Last of Us. Who the fuck isn't? And
it's all right.
it's okay. Yeah. No, it's a fucking masterpiece. So the new trailer is kind of causing some controversy. Some people think it's violent just for violence sake. But what I'm saying is, have you fucking played the first Last of Us? Because it's violence with a purpose, though.
That's like complaining about Mortal Kombat or Resident Evil being too violent.
But Mortal Kombat's it's like kind of fun violence, you know? It's like over the top. This shit was like so gritty and real. It was
with like the chick being like about to be hung and like getting her
or like clip her wings and they
cut.
fucking bash her fucking arms with a fucking hammer, dude. Like,
it was a little gruesome.
I loved it.
I like it though.
I like that kind of shit,
but
man.
That's
personally,
not something you wouldn't see in a movie.
Yeah, but see,
it's a video
exactly.
game.
Video games are not art. Like, no, dude. It's the fucking grittiness, the realness. Like, I loved it, man. I love Last of Us. I love it for that reason. I love the fucking dark tones of it. I'm not playing Last of Us for like a Mario Bros kind of feel, you know. I play Last of Us for the dark.
Yeah, and this one the mushrooms kill you.
yeah. The mushrooms do a bit opposite effect in this one, but. Man, see, the thing was when that trailer was first going I was like, is this Days Gone? Like, what the fuck is this? And then kind of slowly, I'm like, this is Naughty Dog. Like, you could just kind of tell their brand
that
of
art
drama.
Style too.
And man, I love the trailer. I'm so fucking hyped for that game.
Mm-hmm.
And the trailer had I think it had a good tone to it. It kind of, people are already theorizing about, you know, Ellie's mom. Kind of a flashback sequence. I'm anxious to see. Like, I want to know about that era. Like,
I could see that. When you mentioned, like, so you sent me the link to the video because I didn't see it at the time, and then when you mentioned, I know, but then when you mentioned Ellie's mom, I was like, holy shit, that just makes so much sense because she actually looked a lot like Ellie, the mom. There was definitely similarities, and
like when I forget the character, but she puts the knife up to her belly and she's like, you got something inside you, you know, like I want to cut it out. Like,
that could be Ellie right there.
That could be Ellie in there right now. I mean, I don't know why Ellie would be like, before she's even born, do they know that she is resistant to the fucking...
Well, I don't think they know that. I think
the fungus? I mean, then why would she be fucking...
I don't know.
Putting a knife to her belly? So I don't know if Ellie is like...
I think I feel like this is just completely like theorizing.
Yeah, this is all theories right now.
But I think the reason that was that way was Ellie's mom. If that's Ellie's mom, let's just...
Yeah.
If that's Ellie's mom... I feel like maybe she betrayed the Fireflies.
Yeah.
And that might be like part of the...
Or whatever the fuck group that was. Yeah. I mean, it was very vague. And
well, they mentioned cutting wings, so I feel like... Yeah. I just think fireflies, wings, fireflies, you know.
Yeah, so. for sure. So, yeah, I liked the trailer. A lot of people didn't, but I did.
It.
I don't get offended like a lot of people do, so, I mean... Yeah, it was violent. It was fucking violent. And like, honestly, I do see the argument to where, like, they didn't need to show that. It kind of does maybe spoil or take away from the impact of that moment in the game.
I feel like there's going to be a lot of moments.
Yeah,
in that
exactly.
Game,
but Naughty Dog, dude, Naughty Dog knows what the fuck they're doing.
They don't.
They're not going to reveal major story bits like on purpose like that without some sort of meaning behind it. So,
all right.
So anyway, so yeah, Last of Us Part 2 trailer. I liked it. What you liked it, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
You like seeing bitches get fucking hammers into their skull.
I won't lie, like the getting the hammer to the arm.
Awesome.
Like
that was hard to watch.
That was the hardest part to watch of the trailer.
That's the point.
But still, I mean, like that's not a bad. Like I'm not gonna be like, oh, that's too much. No. It's just,
Joel blew some dude's head off in like the first Last of Us trailer with a shotgun. So yeah. I mean, they're all about that kind of shit. So the game will have beautiful moments too.
That's the world they live in. It's a very unforgiving world.
Exactly.
So
and it fits in. And it's not. I don't think some people are saying like, oh, it's violence just for violence sake. I don't think so. Naughty Dog and the way in Last of Us, the way they tell that story, like that violence has a purpose. in that world. So,
but it's the people trying to survive that violence.
Exactly.
Is what it is. Like
so I'm anxious to see if it's like they shows the early days of the outbreak and all that good stuff.
Oh, that would be awesome. I really hope so.
So moving on, another bit of news.
Yeah, why don't you tell us about this Gran Turismo?
So I know you're a big Gran Turismo fan.
Oh,
right?
I love it.
You love racing sims.
Love them.
Yeah.
Love them.
So I know you were looking into getting Gran Turismo Sport. I found the perfect bundle for you, John.
You did.
The best bundle you've ever seen.
If it's more than $50,000, I'm not gonna buy it.
Well, fuck, it's almost $50,000. It's pretty damn close.
If it's more than $50,000, I won't buy it. If it's under, I'll think about it.
Okay, cool. All right, so Gran Turismo Sport. I don't know what entry into the Gran Turismo storied franchise this
Probably
is.
like the 8th, 9th, or 10th one.
So I think this bundle originated in Taiwan or something weird like that. But so this bundle,
Taiwan's weird, apparently.
this
just
bundle,
so you know.
and to my knowledge, there's only one in the world of this bundle. It includes the game, Gran Turismo Sport.
Of course. I mean, you would hope it includes the game.
You also get a PS4 Pro. That's a pretty good bundle so far, right?
Mm-hmm.
PS4 Pro, you get PSVR. I think the game has some VR support, so why not throw that in there? That's a pretty damn good bundle so far, if you're asking me. You also get a year of PS Plus.
Oh.
Yeah, pretty nice, right?
Huh. I'm interested.
So on top of that, they give you a Sony 65-inch 4K TV, one of their higher-end models.
Whoa. I'm liking this so far.
It's getting up there, right? Okay, so on top of that, for the most hardcore of racing sim fans, you get this fucking fancy-ass racing wheel with the pedals and all that shit.
Nice.
And you get this badass fucking seat.
Okay.
To cushion your buttocks.
I'm listening.
And then you get a fucking 2018 Mazda Miata MX-5 on top of that. An actual fucking car.
Yeah.
So if simulation wasn't enough for you, they're going to give you a real fucking car. A Miata, nonetheless. Because everyone fucking loves Miatas, right?
Yeah. Do you get to customize it to be
I think it
whatever
has
color you want?
No, it's just got some Gran Turismo fucking decals and shit on there.
Of course it does.
So when you drive that, people know you're a douchebag when you drive that thing.
Yeah.
Like, oh, he paid $50,000. So anyway, read MSRP American dollar retail price, $46,300.
Oh, so it's under $50,000.
It's under $50K, so you can afford it.
I would be cool.
I know. With the Retro Hero Patreon funds, we can afford this bundle.
Definitely. My cousin Tony is the reason we could afford that for sure.
So what the fuck, man? I know this was like only for the most crazy enthusiasts, but believe it or not, someone actually bought this piece of shit bundle.
Don't call it a piece of shit.
So either they are extreme Gran Turismo Sport fan or they're an extreme Mazda Miata MX-5 fan. One of the two. I don't know which one.
I don't know, man. Like, I honestly see it like I put it this way. Let's just put yourself. You are a gamer. You love the Gran Turismo series, and you're in need of a new car, and you've got some money on you. Does it matter?
I guess.
You get the TV.
But it's a Miata. I mean, like, of all the cars I could have fucking picked, a fucking Miata.
Would you want a Toyota Supra or something?
Supra! I want a Nissan Skyline. Yeah, but dude, I mean, I remember back a few years ago when they released like a Call of Duty edition Jeep. And I have actually seen a few of those bitches on the road. So there are nerds that nerdy with that kind of money. Yeah. Like, okay, dude, people drop like $15,000 for Mass Effect cards on Steam. So I mean, some gamers have money out there. If you got $50,000 laying around,
or those guys that play freaking Counter-Strike and they pay like $10,000 for a rainbow knife, a rainbow skin of your knife.
Fucking bullshit.
Hey.
If you have that kind of money, you got money to
the knife
throw to our Patreon. Don't take that $10,000 and put it on our Patreon, not toward a fucking rainbow knife skin.
Or just throw it to freaking Harvey relief or the Puerto Rican hurricane relief. Something.
Did you know no one cares about that anymore?
Yeah, it's been more than 5 minutes since that happened.
They just care about Retro Hero.
I hope so.
So give us that $10,000 you got just to waste on a fucking knife skin.
Yeah,
please.
Let's do it.
Anyway, on to the topic of the show. So last episode, which seems like forever ago, we talked about heroes, video game heroes. We touched on Link.
I need a hero.
He's gotta be fast and he's gotta be strong. Boo. Yeah. So heroes are cool and all, but John and I we really like the villains. The villains are the real star of the show.
Well, yeah, I've always felt that way. Even like watching Looney Tunes or whatever. I always pulled for Sylvester to get Tweety. I always pulled for Wile E. Coyote to get Roadrunner.
Always.
I mean, I did root for Bugs Bunny. I like Daffy Duck over Bugs Bunny though. I did.
Hell
Daffy
yeah.
Duck was the man.
Duck thieving.
No.
Rabbit thieving.
Yep. So, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I just always felt like, at least especially as a retro gamer, a lot of the times there were kind of two-dimensional characters, hero and villain.
Of course, yeah. I mean, with limitations of the hardware and the storytelling limitations,
So,
you usually got pretty one-dimensional characters. But
like the villains felt like they had a little more something going with them. So I just always liked the villains, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like you said in the last episode, you can only have the hero can only pull so much weight in the story. You need a good villain. You need a reason.
Oh yeah.
A reason to fucking save the princess or to beat.
The game doesn't exist without the villain.
Exactly. I mean,
the hero's just there because of the villain.
Exactly. So you look back to even like Donkey Kong. I mean, Donkey Kong's like one of the original villains.
Mm-hmm.
He later became a hero. But I mean, Jumpman beating Donkey Kong, saving the princess, which was a very common theme in the early days, even back to like just movies and cartoons. Rescuing that princess, the damsel in distress, because
Yeah, I mean, I always equate it to the Dudley Do-Right, Snidely Whiplash tying the woman to the train tracks. Like, that's what like retro video, like super retro video games I talk about.
Yeah, because you look like Bowser, like he just constantly kidnaps the princess, and he just keeps doing it over and over again. And you just gotta fucking rescue her, no questions asked, no real overarching story. Same with like fucking Dr. Robotnik or like King K. Rool. Mm-hmm. They just have like very one-dimensional fucking plots and desires, and they're great villains. Like they're so iconic, but they're pretty one-dimensional even to this day.
They're iconic now though, but I think it's because they're just long-lasting. Because they've been there since the beginning almost.
But Bowser, I mean, let's look at Bowser. He was like King Koopa originally. I mean, like he didn't make an appearance in Mario Bros. 2.
Well, yeah, but there's reasons.
Well, yeah, there's reasons for that. But like,
because Mario Bros. 2 is not a Mario.
But
game.
I feel like even with Mario Bros. 1, you fucking hit the axe, you knock him into the lava. Oh, sorry, but the prince. I mean, it didn't like really add a lot of like weight to it. I thought Mario Bros. 3.
Are you kidding me, dude? Fucking Bowser or Koopa, whatever you want to call him, dude. That was like the most freaking anxiety I've ever had playing a video game as a young kid. What I'm saying is trying to beat King Koopa and get over to the other side of that bridge.
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is like as far as the villain himself, I feel like with Mario Bros. 3, they gave him the Koopalings, they gave him a little more of a personality. The fucking art style got kind of dialed in a little more, and I don't know. I feel like the battle in Mario Bros. 3 was a little more like emotional, I guess, than the first Mario. Yeah. But that fucking jam, that jam. So why would Bowser design that into his castle? Like he knows he's gonna fight Mario. Why would he intentionally build blocks that he can smash through in his own castle to kill himself? I mean, come on, Bowser.
I just don't think he was thinking about it, man. He's a little fat, he's a little overweight. I mean, like, please don't judge. I'm a little hefty now too myself, so I'm not going to judge the guy. Maybe he just didn't realize the foundation wasn't that good in his castle.
Maybe he just had like an interior designer in there. It's like, Bowser, you need to make these drapes do not match this flooring. You need to just upgrade the flooring here and be a little weak structurally, but it's going to look great. And Bowser's like, okay, cool. So Bowser does the fucking butt stomp, breaks through that shit mid-battle, and he's like, fuck.
Yep.
Fuck Mario. I should not have listened to that motherfucker with those drapes.
He was just trying to kill Mario. He wasn't thinking about smashing through his floor.
But look what he did.
I mean, I give him a little leeway on that.
You do?
I like the guy. I like Bowser.
You like Bowser?
He's a good guy.
He's a good guy. Is he a good guy?
I've had a few drinks with him before. He's actually not too bad of a guy. I like him. He gets a bad rap.
He's obsessed with Peach for some reason. Do you think Peach likes getting kidnapped? Do you think she's like,
I think she likes the attention.
She's like, Mario, he's all short. Like,
I think she likes the attention.
I think she's an attention whore.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who kidnaps her. She's just happy with it. She's like, I'm so bored of the Mushroom Kingdom.
Yeah.
She
doesn't want to just sit around in her throne room and just nothing. Who wants to do that? But
I know they're bored playing fucking board games and kart racing. Every once in a while, Bowser's got to come in and kidnap that bitch.
She does kick ass in Mario RPG, though.
Does she?
Yeah, that's a game you haven't played yet.
What are you trying to get at?
I'm trying to get at that. You need to fucking play this game.
Oh, I will. I will.
Speaking of which, we haven't even said you did get it. I know this is kind of off topic, but you did get an SNES Classic.
I did.
Did we talk about that in the last podcast?
I think last time it was still in transit
I think it was.
some shit. Yeah, I finally got the damn thing.
Yeah.
Played it. My wife and I played some Mario Kart, the original, and fucking I sucked at first. I was playing it like I was playing Mario Kart 8, and I was like, nope. Gotta fucking have a different frame of mind. So
Yeah,
I got better at that. We played some Mario World. I broke it out during the kids' party last week, and some of the kids were playing on it, so that was kind of cool to see that.
Yeah.
Fucking perfect recreation of those controllers, man. They feel just like the original Super Nintendo controller. It's fucking glorious.
So I have one. I just heard this a few days ago. One Super Nintendo fact that I'd never heard of before. I'm gonna share it with the audience here. So the NES, the original NES was flat, just completely like a box. So they were saying, I guess apparently a lot of people were putting their drinks on it. It was like a coaster.
Oh, wow.
And I guess spilling drinks or whatever. So that when they actually made the Super Nintendo and the Famicom and the Super Famicom, they made sure to not make it like to your left. They made sure to make it lumpy and stuff to where you can't. It's like so you couldn't rest your drink on it. So it was actually Nintendo was basically created that concept, that lumpy concept, so you wouldn't rest your cup on the Super Nintendo.
Fucking Nintendo.
The more you know.
Trying to combat underage drinking since 1982.
Yeah. So, anyways, so we can go back to the villains now. Sorry for that sidetrack.
No, you're good. You're good. So we were talking about Bowser and kind of like the one-dimensional villains. I mean, we're talking about Dr. Robotnik, like kind of. And the characters didn't help. I mean, the cartoon,
Gruntilda.
the cartoons didn't help much. Like those popular like the Mario Brothers Super Show.
Do the Mario.
The Sonic cartoon back in the day, like it didn't do much to help those villains, and they're pretty one-dimensional. But we love them still. We love them. I mean, Dr. Robotnik trying to fucking kidnap the animals like an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking what other?
Hey, you know what? He's not that bad of a guy. I've had a few drinks with Dr.
Dang,
Robotnik.
John, have you?
He's not that bad of a guy.
Okay, all right.
I'm just saying.
I am bad guy, not bad guy.
Yeah.
What does he say in fucking Wreck-It Ralph?
Wreck-It Ralph, yeah. I am bad guy, but I am not bad guy. But no, I'm just saying he's all right. Like,
but
he actually bought my drinks, so I mean, that was
did
cool.
he? Damn, Robotnik.
He wasn't a
all them
little
rings.
chump.
Did he use rings to pay for him?
I think so. Maybe
Golden rings.
Maybe. I'm just saying he's not that bad of a guy.
Okay.
Pretty nice dude.
Good
Misunderstood.
Yeah,
Misunderstood.
just like most of them. Like King K. Rool.
Misunderstood.
Why the fuck does he want to steal the bananas?
I don't know, dude. He's a crocodile.
He's a crocodile. He doesn't eat bananas. But I think he's just trying to fuck with Donkey Kong. He's like, fuck you.
Yeah, but Donkey Kong's an asshole too.
Well,
like I said,
Cranky Kong was the asshole.
Yeah. Well,
Donkey Kong
is Donkey Kong Jr.
was just trying to rescue his daddy.
Yeah.
So you can't really fault him. But why steal his bananas? I mean,
I don't know.
He's just living his life.
But why is Donkey Kong hoarding all the bananas?
Dun
dun
where did he? Is he like deforesting the forests of the jungle to like get
possible.
These banana trees?
Maybe Karul is doing them a favor. Just saying.
Something to think about there.
I'm just saying. I've had a beer with the guy.
Oh, have you with K. Rool as well?
Yeah, he's a pretty good guy. Misunderstood.
What kind of beer does K. Rool drink?
He's actually a big IPA guy.
I can see that.
Yeah.
With that big old belly.
Yeah.
I can see that.
And he's got the man boobs too to go with it. Like he likes IPAs.
Did you cop a feel on the man boob? The K. Rool man boob?
I'd rather not talk about it, but the answer is not no.
Did you touch his cannonballs?
Maybe. Maybe.
So anyway, like
I don't kiss and tell.
You sure about that?
Only with you, baby.
So anyway, moving on to the back to the podcast here.
Yeah, let's not be off topic. Sorry. What the fuck?
So what makes we kind of talked about this, but what makes you like want to complete a game? Is it the villain that makes you want to beat the game, that makes you want to beat him, or is it like the situation? Like let's say with Bowser or King Koopa, he's kidnapping the princess. We want to rescue the damsel in distress, but it's also the satisfaction of sending that motherfucker into the lava that kind of drives us forward.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of feel like with Mario, though, it's kind of weird, though. I hate to talk crap about Bowser, but it could be anybody. It's more, I feel like the main goal is you're thinking about saving the princess. You're not, I mean, like, obviously Bowser is the one that's doing the kidnapping, but, like, if it was somebody else doing the kidnapping, I still feel like your main thought process is,
true.
I want to save Princess Peach.
So a game to me that kind of introduced a villain that's a little more, it's still one-dimensional, but a little more relatable, or just has more purpose. I would say like Ganon / Ganondorf.
Yeah.
I mean, Ganondorf didn't come till later, but Ganon, like, especially with Zelda 2, like every time you die, it's like fucking shows Ganon's face like laughing at you, like motherfucker. Like it gives you more motivation to go through with it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's trying to I'm sorry to cut you off, but I mean, it's like Ganondorf is much more of an asshole, much more of a darker. He's actually trying to like
villain.
Destroy the world or take over the world, whereas Bowser just wants that pussy.
Yeah,
like let's just get that out of the way here.
Yeah,
Bowser's chasing down that Peach pussy.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, you obviously feel
Ganondorf, like Zelda, he needs Zelda because she's part of the Triforce, but he wants to, fucking. He wants
to destroy the world.
He wants to take over the world.
He's an anarchist.
So that gives him his character a little more reason to you actually want to save the world and Zelda versus just I mean the Mushroom Kingdom is going to be alright. It's going to be alright.
I mean, like, look, if Princess Peach dies, like, I mean, somebody would succeed her. Like the Mushroom Kingdom would go on. There would be, some moments of sadness, some, remorse. Whatever.
Just put a crown on a Goomba and just keep going.
On a Goomba? No, it'd be a toad or something.
It'd be a toad with a crown, like a male toad with a...
Okay, so this is another thing, though. They don't mention it too often, but in Super Mario RPG, there's a king toad. He's the king.
Oh, shit.
He's the king.
It's good to be king.
They don't mention that.
Hail to the king,
It's good
baby.
to be the king. They don't mention that, though. Like, so I know it's a square, but I'm just saying, like, if you want to be like, oh, technically this is canon, or even the Super Mario movie. Remember the King Toad is just that
Mario and Luigi
fungus,
Mario.
but that fungus.
Dude, you feel bad for Yoshi in the Mario movie.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Like if it did one thing right, you feel bad for Yoshi.
Yeah.
Yoshi Sore Koopa Muncher.
Was that his name?
Yeah, T Yoshi Sore Koopa Muncher.
See, it's been so long since I honestly, like, the last time I saw that movie.
No, that came from one of the games, not the movie. It was an instruction booklet
serious?
for one of the games.
Oh, I thought they were
like,
saying that in the movie.
Yoshi's got a legit name. T Yoshi Sore Koopa Muncher. That's his full name.
It's a sexy name.
It is a sexy name.
I understand why he goes by Yoshi, though.
Yeah, it's a
little
long-winded.
Yeah, it's long-winded.
Bitches forget your name if you're
no, yeah, fuck, dude. Yoshi was like so sad and pathetic in that movie. It's
fucking classic.
Sad.
It's a classic.
Yeah. No, it's not a classic. Sorry, the only
classic piece of shit.
Yeah, unless you're John Leguizamo. If I see John Leguizamo, like just ever,
he's Luigi Mario.
I want him to quote something from there's like so many movies he's done, but if there's anything, it'd just be like I would go up to John Leguizamo and just be like, hey man, throw me that sick ass Super Mario quote, bro. Like, come on, man.
So many great classics like The Pest that he's done.
Yeah, and he's also in the John Wick movies.
That's right.
He's the random guy that runs the car.
That's right.
Wreck shops.
Old John Leguizamo.
John Leguizamo, what's up? If you're listening to the podcast, which you're probably not, but what's up?
Anyway.
Yeah. Anyways, back to villains.
Moving on. So
back to villains.
So, I mean, like, breaking down the villains, it's more like the types, the classes of villains. You got the fucking cartoon character kind of villain we've kind of discussed. The Bowser, the Robotnik. They're like one-dimensional. Even though they keep failing, they keep coming back for more. Then you got the villains that have a little more complexity to them. Like, you can kind of relate to them a little more. You see their motives. Like, we're talking, like, Dracula from Castlevania. We're talking, like, even Ganondorf / Ganon from the Zelda series, Kefka from Final Fantasy. I mean, you feel like they have maybe
there's more substance.
There's more like maybe they have a personal tragedy they're kind of trying to redeem themselves for, or they have more of a tie to the character.
You understand why they're evil.
Exactly. Like, I mean, even look at like Ganondorf. Like he has a link to Link. I mean, they have the Triforce links them together, so...
Well, it's also like being like the only male Gerudo, and then like kind of being like...
That's Ganondorf. I mean, if we're really going to get into it.
Okay, yes, but you know what I'm saying. Like, there's a...
It's good to be king, like we said.
Yeah.
Especially a king of a all-female race of Amazonian women.
Not too bad. That whole dark skin, red hair looks pretty good, too.
Oh, yeah, he does it right. Ganondorf knows what's up.
Yeah. But
he did it for a reason. So
yeah,
where did he come from though? If it's an all female race,
yeah, I don't understand that. I've always wondered that. Is he like a Jesus Christ thing? Was there like an immaculate conception thing where it was
possibly?
And he was like, so it was like maybe like whoever's evil, Loki maybe like impregnated some random Gerudo woman, and then
I can see that.
immaculately.
I don't know. We'll have to email Shigeru to find that out.
Yeah.
Yo, Shigeru, I know you're listening.
Shigeru, by the way,
Send
another guy.
Send us an email over at retroheropodcast@gmail.com. Tell us where Ganondorf came
Shigeru,
from.
by the way, another guy. Had a couple drinks with him. Pretty good guy.
Don't fucking lie.
Actually,
to
no,
me.
he's an asshole. He didn't tip.
Oh,
What a dick! No,
Damn,
I'm kidding.
Shigeru, what's up?
I'm kidding.
You were my childhood hero.
I'm kidding. I would never talk bad about our God.
Praise Shigeru.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, so yeah, we have.
Would you like to know about our Lord and Savior Shigeru Miyamoto?
So talk about I know you're a big Final Fantasy guy with Kefka,
Yeah.
or Gygas from Earthbound, the more RPG kind of
Well, yeah, that's a good thing. Is RPGs definitely can flesh more out
For sure.
of character development. I mean, if you want to talk about Kefka, Kefka was, I guess, I know you haven't played the game, but I'm sorry, the game's been out for fucking almost 30 years. So
the retro games are spoiler resistant. So
All right.
talk about them.
All right, so Kefka, the great, I mean, he's the main villain now, obviously. But when you play the game, if you had never heard of Final Fantasy 6/3, whatever you want to fucking call it, you play the game, and Kefka is a lackey
Oh, yeah?
to Gestalt.
Okay.
So Emperor Gestalt, you think you kind of think Gestalt is the main villain, and Kefka is just his lackey, and he's just kind of going. But Kefka does the dirty work and all this shit, and he's kind of a psychopath. But spoiler alert: once you think you're taking down Gestalt and everybody, Kefka fucking turns things over and kind of takes control.
Oh shit.
I won't go into too much. So that's my most least spoilerish. But then it's if you never knew Kefka was the main villain, it would be a big shock. You'd be like, oh fuck, this is the dude that's all of a sudden gonna take over the world, and he basically becomes a god. He basically does take over the world.
Nice.
Until you try and take it back from him. So it's but the character development, he was a psychopath, he was a lackey, and the thing is the story was he was actually experimented on, so in this world, magic doesn't exist yet, or it does exist, but it's kind of out, and they're kind of going more to technology.
Yeah.
But then they're kind of rediscovering magic, and then there was experiments. He was one of the first people to be experimented on, and supposedly it made him kind of go fucking insane psychopath.
Insane in the membrane.
Insane, got no brain.
See, I think a lot of RPGs do that, where I've noticed this, or especially Japanese RPGs, they kind of do that misdirection where you think one character is the villain the whole game, and they'll fucking pull a 180 and someone else. I've noticed that.
Undertale does it. Undertale does.
I've noticed that in a lot of Japanese RPGs. You're always hunting down this one guy, and then there's always the next boss up, or the god or whatever. There's always some sort of god or spirit or some shit that you have to take down in the end. But it's definitely
there's even one Final Fantasy. I think it's one of the Game Boy ones where you actually just fight God.
I love
you
that.
kill God.
Yeah. Yeah.
As crazy as that is.
Man, those Japanese with their symbology.
Yeah.
It's insane.
So there's a lot of that. Gygas is also kind of one of these. He's originally he's an alien with psi powers, but then he kind of gets, without spoiling too much for you because you haven't played all the Earthbound games and stuff, but he was kind of in a way lost the people he loved, and then he became evil.
Yeah.
The manifestation of evil, and then he needed to be
Nice.
Controlled. But so it's there is backstory there. It's not just, I'm Bowser, I'm still the princess.
Yeah.
Bah.
So we can agree that with a lot of RPGs or it's more story focused games, you definitely get a better, more fleshed out villain than versus your
no doubt,
just your repetitive fail over and over again.
And by the way, Gygas, good guy. Had a couple beers.
Did you?
him.
Gygas?
Yeah, not too bad.
Some alien beer.
Yeah.
What kind of beer does he like?
He's more of a pale ale guy. Just pales.
Doesn't like to go full IPA.
No, he doesn't go
pale.
IPA. Yeah, he's not a big fan, but he's all right. So also, we'll just another fun fact here is the creator of Earthbound, the Earthbound series, the fight scene with Gygas, which you haven't gotten there yet, was actually sort of influenced by when he walked into a movie theater as a young kid. He was I want to say he was 6, 7, 8 in that range. He walked into a movie theater in the middle of a movie, and at that point there was a rape scene going on.
Oh damn!
And that's where he based the final scene fighting Gygas in Earthbound, the SNES one, like is just
wow.
And you definitely kind of hear it, like especially a lot of times it's like when you're fighting Gygas, he's like screaming and yelling, and like it's very disturbing, especially if you know that knowledge now. So I'm sorry if I ruined Earthbound for you, but that's just kind of how it is.
Yeah. Well, I know Earthbound's always kind of had that really dark undertone to it.
Mhm.
I mean, just with the fact it's like the end of the world type of thing, it just gives it a little more weight than some of the other RPGs, especially since it takes place in a contemporary setting versus like some fantasy area that you have no connection to.
Yeah, it was supposed to be like kind of like I guess like a parody of Western life.
Yeah.
How Japan sees Western world.
Yeah,
It's
like cheeseburgers
do you want
heal
a
you?
burger and a steak? Yeah, like absolutely.
So the next type of villain that John and I kind of thought of was like the villain without the face.
Mhm.
The villain that you don't see or fight directly, but you're still like, okay, go back to Last of Us. There's really no like boss or like, one entity. Yeah, there's like...
I mean, you're sort of against the Fireflies, but
Yeah.
are you really against the Fireflies?
But the real enemy is like the survival aspect. The enemy is the fungus, the disease that takes over humans.
The enemy is trying to stay alive.
Exactly.
And
it's like that gives it so much weight too. It's like every situation you get through, every situation you survive, it's like you feel so accomplished, like you defeated death itself, like you defeated the hopelessness. If you find the hope, like the scene with like where it kind of slows down and you see the giraffes kind of, the beautiful moment, it's like, this is what we fight for.
Very iconic
right here.
scene.
There's not really like a face. There's no Bowser who's like spreading the disease around the land. It's more like it's such a human story that it just has a different kind of villain to it. And like, I don't know, is there any other examples like that you can think of where it's more like?
I mean, you can
like,
say,
even with like Resident Evil, you still have like the zombies, but there's still like Umbrella Corp. There's still like kind of like the Wesker. There's the fucking villains that are kind of behind it still. But Last of Us is just such a perfect example of that.
You can even say
idea.
like Shadow of the Colossus a little bit.
Yeah,
There's you don't.
There's really not one singular enemy you're facing. It's like, in the end,
you think you're fighting
exactly. That's the beauty of that game. But you're trying to fight these giant. You think you're trying to take down these colossi to save the damsel in distress.
Well, she's already dead. It's to bring her back to life, right?
But you don't realize that these guardians are here for a reason. It's like it's such a beautiful game.
You are the villain in Shadow of the Colossus. You are the villain. Inadvertently, you don't think you are.
Yeah.
But you are. And that's all. That's another thing that's like just great in video games is like that was so crazy because it's like it just pulls a 180 on it. You think you're doing what you're doing right and that brings us back to like Mario.
Yeah.
Is you think you're saving the damsel. I'm saving my love. She was dead and I can bring her back to life by killing these colossi. And then when you figure it out, it's like, oh shit. I'm the fucking bad guy.
Yeah.
Dude.
God, it's such a good twist there.
So,
and I mean there's not a lot of games.
So it takes away from the tropes of video games.
And I like that. I like the games that kind of step outside of the traditional villains or even the more complex villains, but even like more some like open world type games like with Skyrim, let's say, like you do have like the end villain, but there's so much in that game that it's like there's so many little storylines and little quests that you can do that you can get distracted from that main villain, that main threat to the world, and you can kind of go off and just do your own little storyline. It's kind of hard to classify a villain in a more open world game like that. I mean, I feel like they don't have like a more narrative driven game. You definitely feel way more attached to that villain. Like let's look at like a Metal Gear game, like Big Boss. Some of those villains. Like you definitely feel more attached to them. More like
Ocelot was cool.
I'm taking this motherfucker down. Versus like in Skyrim, you're like, okay, the dragon can wait. I'm gonna go do this other shit. It's kind of interesting there too. It's the freedom is almost the villain.
So
time is your villain.
So now to kind of wrap up this podcast episode, let's why don't you just talk about some of your favorite villains? Just kind of break down just a few of them.
Yeah, obviously I got to go with the Zelda series. So like Ganondorf from Ocarina of Time, I think is such an awesome villain because while they don't delve into his backstory too much, there is kind of those little hints that maybe there was like he was a servant to the king and he was allies with the kingdom, Then he like overthrew the king because there's kind of like that scene when you first meet Zelda after you gather all 3 spiritual stones. You go to the courtyard. They're peeping through the window. They see Ganondorf fucking kneel into the king. Fucking biding his time before he unleashes his plan. But and that kind of gives him a little more complexity in the storyline as well. And you see him so early on. Well, sometimes villains, you only see them right at the end of the game.
I think Ganon is sorry to cut you off, but I think Ganon is the best Nintendo villain, licensed by Nintendo villain.
He's up there. I mean, like what else you got with Nintendo? You got Bowser, you got like Andross, you've got King K. Rool.
Exactly.
Which,
You're not mentioning anybody that I think is better than Ganon.
Yeah, I think Ganon/Ganondorf are 2 separate entities. To stick with Zelda, another one of my favorite villains, and I think this is one of the most beautifully executed villains, is Majora's Mask. There's so many different threats in that game. Yeah. You got the moon. That moon is fucking terrifying, dude.
Just staring
getting closer and closer and closer. But that's not the true villain in the game.
Yeah,
Majora,
the skull. Well, it's not even the Skull Kid. It's really the mask.
Well, the Skull Kid is being manipulated by Majora's evil energies. So even at the end when you fight Majora, if you haven't beat Majora's Mask,
hey man, you don't know our audience
I
right
know.
now.
You're here on the Retro Hero podcast. We're gonna drop some spoilers of fucking 30-year-old games. Sorry, but so I love the moon and the Skull Kid and Majora, like that combo.
By the way, the moon. Had a few drinks with him. Good guy.
What is he like? Is he a Blue Moon fan?
Absolutely. That's exactly what he likes, actually. No orange though. No orange.
Orange is for bitches.
He just likes Blue Moon straight.
He's like a straight and raw, just
guy.
deep.
Not a bad guy.
Yeah.
He has a creepy stare, but not a bad
little
guy.
misunderstood.
He's actually a very good wingman, though. I actually left home with a honey that night because he helped me out.
Nice.
So yeah,
way to go, Moon.
I like the moon.
Way to go, Moon.
Yep.
So yeah, those are some of my favorites. I'm also a big Doom fan from back in the day. I love the fucking Cyber Demon.
Yeah.
He's not really. He has like there's no motivation. He's just a fucking evil demon. He's scary as fuck though when you first beat him in Doom 2. He's fucking giant. He's like 20 feet tall. He's got fucking rocket launchers on his arms. Like, it's terrifying. Also, the Spider Mastermind from Doom 1. Like I said, I just have a soft spot for those games. They're considered retro in my mind. And they're just grotesque demon enemies. And love it. I love fucking beating them.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I guess like some of my favorites, I would say, we mentioned it in the opening here, is Dracula from the Castlevania
What
series.
is a man?
I just like because he's very complex though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he definitely
especially
is.
in any of the Castlevania games too. There's just so many dimensions to that character.
You feel like his wisdom is above human understanding.
It is.
Like you get these Simons and these Richters who are like, I will defeat your evil ways. Yeah. But like Dracula, he's like I've been here for a lot longer than you, motherfucker.
In a way, the Belmonts are the 2D character, 2D characters, and Dracula is the 3-dimensional character.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of a flip usually than what you usually get in video games, but. Dracula is awesome, especially or even you can get the Alucard, you get his son.
Yep,
that's always good. He has the we didn't mention it. We did only the voice acting for Richter and Dracula, but Alucard in that game is like the sexiest voice actor. He has this deep voice and it just sounds so fucking sexy, and you're just like, oh man.
Yeah.
I
can see adolescent John just masturbating.
My pants get tight when I hear the voice actor of Alucard just talking, dude. He's got a sexy voice.
We'll have to figure out who he is. Maybe he's done some other voices before.
Yeah, I know. I have to IMDb him or something. But I mean, Dracula is one of them. Another guy though from fighting video games is Shao Kahn. I didn't love him because the one thing though was it was so different one of the things that just always stuck with me playing Mortal Kombat 2, which is my favorite Mortal Kombat to this day.
It's the best. It's the best combat.
It's just when you get to Shao Kahn, he's so fucking overpowered, but then it's like he fucking hits you and then he points at you and he's like, you weak, pathetic. Like he taunts you in the middle of that never happened in a fighting video game. Until then, it's just like, you weak, pathetic fool. And just talking shit. And you're just like, oh my goodness, he's such an awesome video game.
Shao Kahn, doesn't he put on the tournament, the Mortal Kombat?
He is like,
he's the organizer of it.
Is his bitch. Yeah. Really. Even though Shang Tsung is like the main villain of the first one, Shang Tsung answers to Shao Kahn.
That's right.
So. Yeah, he's the main leader of Outworld, whatever. Yeah, the Khan of Outworld or whatever. But yeah. Anyways, Shao Kahn, awesome. As far as fighting video games go, I feel like he is hands down the best villain.
Yeah.
Better than M. Bison, better.
And it's interesting with fighting games is like the villain in a fighting game. It's like you fight so many people, but there's always that one kind of like supreme evil motherfucker that kind of runs things. Yeah. So another one of my favorites, and I know you can relate to this too, is, and it's maybe not a lot of people think about this one, but the rival from Pokemon Red and Blue, like.
Oh, you mean Ass Hat?
Fucking Gary or whatever the fuck in the show or in the American version, but just you're always up against him. You're always hunting him down. You're always comparing yourself to your fucking rival, and it's. I think maybe not so much.
And he was always ahead of you.
Exactly.
He's like, oh, you got 30 Pokemon. I got 70.
He's always one step ahead of you. Like maybe you're not so much a villain, but he's like a great.
But he chastised you.
Exactly. So. Fucking the rival from Red and Blue. I mean, he's Green in Japan,
Whatever.
Or Gary in America.
Well, he's Gary. He's always Gary in my heart.
Fuck yeah.
He's Gary Oak. Fucking Gary Oak.
Fucking
But
Gary.
you know, another thing that always pissed me off with Gary. Just one line. Smell you later.
Yeah.
Smell you later.
Every fucking time.
If you say smell you later, you're just an asshole.
Well,
but by the way,
welcome to the 90s.
Yeah. Had a drink with him. He doesn't drink beer though.
Yeah, he's a pussy, huh?
Yeah.
He drinks Mike's Hard Lemonade.
Nah, he's a peppermint schnapps guy.
Oh, I could see that.
Even worse.
Fucking Gary.
Even worse. I was like, seriously, dude? Seriously?
Well,
I'm gonna sit next to you while you drink this?
He's using his granddad's trust fund and his credit card to pay for these schnapps.
Yeah, fuck Gary Oak, dude. He was not a cool dude. But another guy I would say, I mean, we mentioned Kefka. I won't go too much in depth with Kefka, but he's easily my favorite Final Fantasy and probably RPG villain, just period.
Okay.
Another guy I want to bring up though is Manfred von Karma from. If you don't know that name, it's from the Phoenix Wright series, the very original.
Objection.
It is. I don't want to go too deep into why he's the villain, but it's just because it's such an amazing story. But when you put him on the spot in the court case, it is the best, one of the best feelings ever. One of the best feelings in video, because it is. It's Phoenix Wright series is kind of a weird game, but I feel like when you get that person that you're just supposed to put them in the corner, and they always talk shit, and especially Von Karma, he finds ways to spin your words around. Especially he's the best because he's a lawyer too, and it's like when you can finally put him in that corner and he just fucking doesn't, dude. It is one of the best feelings in video games ever. Ever.
This isn't so much of a retro one, but I gotta give one more last shout out to one of my favorite villains is Saren from the first Mass Effect game.
Yeah.
The thing is though, they hook you into that villain so early on. The first mission in that game, you realize the betrayal. You realize that he's a fraud. And the entire game you're trying to expose him. You're trying to fucking uncover the conspiracy behind it all. Fucking love that villain. He's so well fleshed out, and when you finally fucking beat him in the end, it's so satisfying. Mass Effect has some great villains. We're more retro focused, but I just had to throw out Mass
Saren?
Effect.
Never had a drink with the guy.
Yeah, because he's dead.
Yeah,
because he's fucking dead.
He's fucking dead.
So we kind of briefly touched on villains. We could keep going with this shit. We could get so in depth because this could be a 5-hour podcast, but we're not going to go there.
So we'll end it there though. So hey, if you really liked what you were listening to, fucking give us $1, please.
Yeah,
that's all we're asking.
Fucking go to the Patreon. Fucking patreon.com/retrohero. If you like what you're listening to, $1 a month, $2 a month, 5, 10, 100, whatever you want to throw at us.
If you give us 100, Jesus Christ,
John will come personally stroke your cock.
I will.
Or your vagina.
Or your
whatever
labia.
you have.
Or
if
your
you have
labia.
both, sure, he'll get them both.
I'm not going to assume your gender.
We don't discriminate here. We don't give a fuck. You can listen.
Hit us up on Facebook.com/Retro Hero Podcast, Twitter @The Retro Hero, or you can see us on YouTube, search engine Retro Hero Podcast, or hit us up on the email retroheropodcast@gmail.com. Yeah, just hit us up. We're not hearing anything. So why don't you talk about what's going to be the future of Retro Hero, because I feel like this is what we're going to call the end of season 1.
Yeah, so we're going to classify this episode as the end of season 1. We kind of, John and I had an original vision for this podcast, and we haven't really been sticking to it. We've kind of just wanted to practice and kind of get our podcasting legs underneath us, which I feel like we've done. Mm-hmm. We're much more comfortable in front of the mics, and we kind of want to retool the podcast. So we're going to take a little bit of a hiatus, but we're still going to come at you with Let's Plays and live streams and stuff. But we're going to retool the podcast. We're going to get definitely more guests on here, so you're not just listening to our asses the whole time. We want to get back to more of the comedy side, because that was kind of the original idea for this, was to be more of a comedic kind of video game culture focused podcast. So we've kind of just been more of a traditional gaming podcast in general these last 7 episodes.
And we don't want to be that.
We don't. And while we've enjoyed it and while we feel much more confident than episode 1, we definitely want to bring to you our original...
Go listen to episode 1. It's probably a hoot.
It's probably terrible. So we want to kind of bring our original vision to you, which is more of like, think of a Howard Stern type of show mixed with like video game culture. You know, that's kind of what we're going for. More guests, more characters in our show.
More me drunk.
More drunk John. So in the future here, we're going to definitely have some live streams. We're going to do a Kirby... Tell me about the Kirby idea we had.
Oh, yeah. So in Kirby Superstar, I don't remember the exact name of the game, because it's a bunch of mini games, but it's like the Samurai. I want to call it Samurai Showdown. And it's basically just a test of your reflexes as soon as it's like basically a cowboy shootout. Get the gun, shoot out first.
Yep.
And we're going to have a tournament there. We're going to try and get about 8 people. That would be like ideal.
It's also going to be a drinking game. So the loser will be... The winner will be the least drunk?
Maybe. I don't know.
How are we going to do that?
We'll see. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Someone
we'll
needs to be puking by the end
of the night. But the thing
is
is we're going to have a 8-man Samurai Showdown tournament.
Yep.
We're gonna stream it live.
So yeah, look forward to that kind of shit. We definitely want to get more into the obscure games and just bring you the fun, bring you the comedy.
Yes.
That's kind of the goal here. So
unboxing videos.
So yeah, that's coming. So thank you for listening to season 1. We know it's been a rough ride, but we feel confident.
But and if you're also like coming in late and you've seen like season 2 or 3 and you're just listening to this for the lulls,
the future people.
Yeah, the future people. Yeah, thank you. You can get a good laugh out of this. Hopefully, we're a lot better than we are right now.
Hopefully.
I
really hope so.
Can't get much worse, right?
I don't think so.
No,
I don't think it can.
I don't know.
Well, we can try.
We can always try. But hey, guess what? You know, that's the end of this episode. Thank you so much, guys. All you retro gamers, we love you. We'll talk to you later. Bye, guys.
Yay. See you next season. Whenever that is.